Grammy.
Look at there's Grammy.
And now there's Uncle Doug. That's Grammy's brother. And there's Grandpa Cox. There's
Grammy's
Daddy's
dad.
grandpa. He's my daddy, just like you have a daddy, Alex. And there's Aunt Paula.
There's Aunt Paula, remember her?
Yeah. You remember Aunt Paula's house? You went to see Grandpa?
You remember going to Aunt Paula's house?
Yeah.
Hi, Aunt Paula.
Hi, Alex. Hi, sweet girl. Hi, Nathan.
Hi.
It's so awesome to see you.
Yeah, it's awesome to see you guys.
So I was going to ask Paula if you can tell where this picture was taken.
Oh, gee.
I think
Games. I don't know.
I think it was taken in Lyman, in the yard, back by the shed of the White House, but I'm calling for opinions on that.
Karen?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I don't think so. Well, maybe, I guess if that could be the little yellow house over there on the little house. I don't know.
Yeah, or that might be Doris's garage.
That's what I'm thinking.
Could that be Doris's garage?
Like we were in the yard of the White House, and the Doris's garage in the background.
In the background.
Anyway,
that could be.
So
that would be that hairdo. My hairdo though was pre-Mongo. Hey, Kel.
Your hairdo wasn't.
Oh my goodness.
Quarantine hairdo.
Can you make a timeline of your hairdos, Aunt Paula?
Yeah.
All the ladies simultaneously try to fix in their hair.
Oh my goodness. That's hilarious.
Look at you, Nathan. You got your hair shaved.
Yeah, I've got the quarantine haircut so I can like put on stuff so it can have a seal. See?
There you go.
You can't have beard, you can't have any hair, it's not gonna seal.
Yeah.
That's
my boys have that. My boys have that haircut because their dads are cutting it in the garage. With clippers.
Yeah, it's really all you need. It's really all you need.
Yeah.
No one cares what a man's hair looks like.
Hey, there's Judy.
No one's looking at us
how
anyway.
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Oh my gosh, she looks so much like your mom's face to me. Makes me miss her so bad.
I know.
Oh.
No, it's going to be the first Mother's Day without her.
I'm so sorry for you, honey.
Me too.
Hard one.
Yeah, it's Karen too. Karen Sue too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw your picture, Vanita, today of Aunt Stella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's 5 years
Oh,
old.
there's Vanita.
I miss
Oh
her.
my gosh. I looked at that and I could not believe it had been 5 years.
It goes so fast.
I know.
And yet it seems like a long time. It just is so weird. It seems like mom was just here and now it just seems like such a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. How long has your mom been gone?
20.
23.
Yeah, it was December of '96.
December of 96. So
I'm 23 plus.
I thought it was so precious, your daughter-in-law talking about getting to have a time with her and everything. And I thought that's what we missed.
They got some time together.
Our kids never, ours, I mean, Paul was in the 8th grade. So, you know, she never got to see their wives, their grandkids or anything.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, we've all been blessed with very wonderful moms and they're in heaven rejoicing. So
I know. The party's getting bigger up there.
It is. That's totally true.
I wonder if they're going to do some canning since they all three used to do that together.
I'm gonna say that's a no.
Yeah.
Just out of, you know.
Don't put that- Yeah.
Did we lose Kelly?
Idaho. We can't.
Hi. Hi, kids.
Alex, if you look, go over
If
here.
you guys put it on gallery view, you'll see everybody.
I
Yeah,
wish
I was wondering why we couldn't see everybody.
Up
How
on,
do you do that?
up on the top right, there's a little waffle. You hit it and it says gallery or speaker view.
Does Donna need to do it, or can we
I
do
just
it?
try to review.
Yeah, because
If
we've
you
got
guys do it,
everybody.
you'll see everybody.
If you're not on your computer though, you don't have that. Are you on your phone or your computer, Aunt Paula?
I'm on
I'm
my
on my
phone.
phone.
You just swipe to the right.
Yeah, if you're on
To the left,
computers, will do
whatever.
it. Phones won't.
There, I did to the right.
Now can we see more people?
Now I can see more people.
Now
You can only see 4 though at a
Where did
time.
Vanita? Oh, whoops! Where did Vanita and Judy go?
Keep swiping.
They're there.
So just keep swiping until more people come.
No, you can only hold 4 on a screen
Oh,
on your phone.
okay.
I only can get 2.
That's better, Paula.
I'm on the iPad.
I've got 4 now. That's better. Yeah, I got to turn my phone. Oh my
Oh.
word! This
Judy, your
COVID
lighting
here,
Phone
is
sideways.
seriously. COVID here.
Over there. Let's go to the
I don't do long hair anymore. This is
Oh, no,
like
it's
6
still
weeks
on
past a
the
haircut.
I know.
the camera out. It's still.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I went to my chiropractor today and he had on a baseball cap and I said,
Yeah.
James,
see your face
are
right
you
here?
wearing
You can't
that
see your
because
face.
it's been
Yeah,
6
right
weeks
there.
since
That's what
you had a haircut? And he said, yes. And I said, I live with one that's doing the same thing.
I know. Where's your hat, Uncle Bill?
Yeah, I left it at the table.
I thought Uncle Bill was looking pretty good there.
Well, thank you, dear.
Seriously. Yeah, Dan is too. But Vanita has always had such nice hair. She wears her hair long nice.
Yeah.
It was, I cut it short. It was like, I cut it pretty short. So
Yeah,
it's
it
just now
is.
growing out.
Oh, did you have it shorter?
I did. I cut it short for a while.
Yeah.
I'm going back long.
Kelly's in humidity. Hers just gets bigger.
I need to go visit her.
Yeah, she has that wonderful hair that just curly, and you can just have, it's like Stacy's hair. You just have messy bun, and it looks so cute.
Yeah, you gotta fall down.
Thank you.
So Paula,
Yes, Richard.
I was gonna say, if you can describe what year this is with your hairdo.
Oh.
We just lost a whole bunch of
She's
things.
putting a picture in.
Yeah, he just put a picture
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's not that long ago.
on it.
I can
Yeah.
move this.
Yeah, that's more recent.
Is that Steve's wedding?
That's at Doug's house.
That's at Doug's house, so I bet that's Steve's wedding.
Yeah, that's you.
And the vest that Daddy's wearing, I now have upstairs.
Oh, that guy in the back is a good-looking guy.
Yeah, that guy in the back, he has a ball cap on, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He has really good posture.
Well,
Okay, well, you all, this was too much. Getting to visit with everybody.
Who's that,
There we go.
Richard?
That's our newest member of our family, our dog.
So if we keep swiping, do we just choose who's in our thing? That's like hilarious. I'm so ADD. I can just like swipe.
Just get rid of who you
Oh, I
want.
got it
Just get
now.
rid of who I don't want to touch.
Out there, Judy, good.
I got 4 people.
That is hilarious.
Good.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, that is hilarious. So Kel, what time is it in the Philippines?
10:15 in the morning.
Oh, well, that's not bad then. Okay.
For all your,
No, this is a great time for me. I said you guys are all staying up late.
where are
Oh
you?
no, it's still light outside here. It's like,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
blessed. Yeah.
Yeah,
It never gets dark in Boise.
farther north you go.
Kidding, isn't that the truth?
It's
It is the truth.
in the summers. It's late.
In
It's
summertime,
so
it's 10
light.
Oh,
10:30
it's 10,
is light.
it's 10, 10, 15.
Yeah.
It's 10, 10, 15. When we had little kids, they'd be on the trampoline at 9, 10 o'clock at night, daylight.
Yeah.
You try to get them to bed. Poor
Yeah.
Kelly brought her kids and she's putting them to bed at 3:30 in the afternoon.
You're crazy.
Well, when they came here, Scott came in the house, and he looked at the clock and he says, "Oh my gosh, it's almost 6 o'clock. It's going to be dark any minute. We got to go to bed."
No, they seriously couldn't figure out what time of day it was or what it was or anything, because they were used to going to bed between 5 and 6, I think.
Great. They get up at 5:30 in the morning. Can we also, disclaimer here, okay?
Oh, this is true.
We get a grandkids like that.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter what time they go to bed. They are waking up at 5:30, so we can have a good day or we can have a bad day.
Well, yeah, we have just finally turned the corner on, well, I don't know about Elijah. He's still 4, but the 4 older teenager ones are finally now sleeping. Now you can't get them up.
Yeah.
They need to sleep.
You know, they've gone the other way. So
Yeah.
I used to have them spend the night, and I used to tell them, you cannot open that door until the little bear says this number. It'd be like, but did we lose Alex, Nate, honey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
the outside is calling.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I just thought we were probably all boring.
Yeah, of course, you're
Okay.
very boring to her. Of course, she's 4.
She's adorable.
I have to make a fool of myself 24/7 to make her happy, keep her entertained, which isn't hard for me, so it works out.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That's good.
I hear you're a really great dad. I saw it for myself when she was
Right.
littler, so I can't imagine you've changed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. She's a little angel, mostly.
Right.
But all of us on this screen were little angels.
I know I was.
No, I don't think anybody ever said that about me. I don't think so.
I think people said you were a little stinker.
I
But
think that's what people said. Yes.
But they loved you. They loved you very.
Yeah.
I got to swipe so I can see Judy. Where'd Judy go? Oh, there she is. Poor Judy's the quiet one.
It's getting close to my bedtime too.
Yeah, and you're still in New Mexico?
Yes.
Yeah. How
We're
has this
mountain-
changed? How has
We're
this
mountain
changed?
time.
Are you mountain?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you're the same as we are. How has this changed your job?
I wear a mask even at my desk. I have to wear a white PPE and glove up talking to patients.
Yeah.
So,
But you are working.
oh yeah, it never stopped.
Yeah.
Judy, tell Nathan and Kelly about your job.
Oh, I'm a dialysis dietitian, so they dialyze 3 times a week. And then now we do have patients who do it at home, and the doctor opted, which we were taught on telehealth, but a lot of them don't have the computer capability to do that.
boy.
So we've
Isn't that
been
the
just
truth?
calling them on the phone, and they only come in once a month just to get their labs drawn. So just to keep them from that.
From being exposed, right?
And
Yeah.
a lot of them are really hunkering down. They're not liking it, but they're staying pretty well put.
But they're staying healthier that way, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have set up, if we need to, we had like 1 week about 4 patients who were around people who had it, so they had to be dialyzed separate from the other ones till they tested twice negative, and they all were negative. So we haven't had anybody come down with it.
Oh, good.
Me and Kelly, we think she had it or something.
Yeah.
Alan thinks he had it in the end of February.
Yeah,
Paul
that's the
Ben
same
thought
time.
he did too.
Rick
Oh,
did
but
have
was-
it. They
Blood
tested
test and
him.
everything. He was so sure, but he came back negative, so he didn't really have
We
it.
didn't go after she went through it, we didn't go get tested. We didn't want to go back. We took her to the emergency room. It was brutal. Like it went and just never ended. She was coughing like for like 6 weeks. Because the cough just never ever went away. She had like 100 and some fever for like a week. We took her to the emergency room. They were like, oh, it's a flu. We can't do anything. Codeine, nothing worked on the cough. She was just like
Was this
for
Kelly?
like so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kelly, for so
Oh, wow.
long. It went on and on and on and on and on and
Yeah.
on and on.
Yeah.
A month. And then like it was 6 weeks before the cough was all gone. She didn't like she would just wake up gasping for air in the middle of the night. It was
Yeah.
crazy. But they just told us she had the flu. So we don't know because we never went back to get tested. But
Do you have the
seems weird
drive-through?
to have
Do
a
you
cough.
have the drive-through testing for the antibodies in your area yet? I'm sure you do because we have it here.
No.
Yeah,
No?
Temecula's kind of a out of the way
Yeah.
place.
I like
It's like-
Temecula. I've been out there a couple times.
It's very nice, but it's not big. So anything that happens will probably come here. You know, like they have the testing drive up, but not the antibodies.
Well, our antibody drive-ups just opened a week ago yesterday. But, and it actually opened up originally for doctor ordered only. And now after 1 week, they're just letting you go on the computer and schedule your appointment, and you drive up with a little number and you put that number in your windshield and you stick your finger out. It's like a pregnancy test, little stick.
Yeah.
They drop a drop of blood on the stick and they tell you right then if you're positive or
That's the one Rick had.
if
And
you've had it or not. Yeah.
He he had been over the disease long enough that he was negative for the disease, but positive for antibodies.
Oh.
And when was he first quarantined?
Oh, he was early, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was right after we got home from your house, Donna, so like about the 7th of March, 8th, 9th.
Yeah, that's how I remembered it too.
In that time frame, and
But he knew who he was around that had
yeah,
it.
he knew he'd been exposed, and
Oh.
so it was an Australian tourist from
Yeah. I read about that in the Glenwood Post.
yeah, that's it. And she brought it to the valley. She was sick when she got on the airplane in Australia and got to the valley and got sicker, and so turned around and went home before she went to the doctor or was tested.
Oh my goodness.
So 2 full plane loads full and most of the valley.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But yeah,
That's called Typhoid Mary.
yeah.
I mean, we'll call her COVID Candy or Susie or Cindy or something.
COVID Candace.
There you go, COVID Candace. Yeah. Has Pagosa Springs had much, you guys?
Oh, we only had 8 cases, and that was 3 weeks ago. So by now there's, they're all, yeah.
You guys.
What's
are
the population there?
We probably have about 15,000 or so, counting all the surrounding areas. I mean, the town only has maybe 1,500. Real small.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
That's
it's a small
perfect.
area.
Yeah, that's people that
And
matter.
we're in the mountains, and you got to really drive here on purpose to get here, type thing. So
Yeah.
They pretty
And you
much
had-
got all the tourists to go
yeah, all
home.
the tourists. It's problem is
Yeah.
our business. Tomorrow they're opening up a lot of the business. Just start the soft opening of things.
Mhm.
So we've been dying this town.
Is the pool still open?
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, the hot springs pool is closed too.
Yeah, they closed it way early.
Have they said anything about when they were gonna open it or?
No,
No.
I think that'll be one of the last things to open. You know, they can't.
Oh, most likely.
They can't
Because
control
of the heat.
Yeah, and they just can't control people being close to each other.
Kelly, are you still under martial law, basically?
Yeah, it's not martial law, but basically, yeah, I can't leave my house.
But I mean, you have soldiers in the streets, right?
Yeah, we have checkpoints where
That's why I
there's
said
a guy with, you know, fatigues and an M16. He's taking your temperature.
that to me.
Real fun. You should try it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, for us, you know, rookies, that would be considered, yeah, under government control. Yeah.
Yeah.
Idaho's
And any
open
building,
up
like you can
for-
only go to the grocery store or the pharmacy. That's the only things that are open. And you've got to get your temperature checked each time that you go into those buildings. And they're only letting, I'm sure like you guys, they're only letting so many people into the store. So there's these huge lines outside.
Yeah, 6 feet apart.
The beaches are all open in California, but there's just swamped with people.
Yeah,
There's so many.
I heard today he was closing them down again.
Like Newport, he closed down.
Because people just swarmed them, and it's hot, and at the beach it's perfect. People are not gonna like either stay 6 feet away or not go to the beach.
Yeah.
Right.
They're just like, oh, it's close enough. They're not that close, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're gonna have to close it all down. And people are protesting here too.
Yeah,
So
everywhere.
they're all in San Diego and Orange County. We're between those two. So they just have all piles and piles of people who are just all together yelling, spitting on each other, yelling and spitting on each other. It's like a preschool. Just people stop.
And he did it from saliva or cough.
Well, you had
cough.
You had thousands. I mean, you had thousands and thousands of cases in California, didn't you?
It wasn't as bad as
Like,
it could have been.
there's like, I don't know, it's like 40 deaths a day or something now.
How much?
It's still floating, like 40 deaths a day, or it's like it fluctuates, but
Oh, a day?
it's exploding. Yeah, it's exploding in Orange County and San Diego right now. LA County, it's lower because they've cracked down harder. But Orange County, people are more affluent, so they're not really used to people telling them what to do, so they don't really listen to the authorities. Whereas the poor people in LA, they're used to the authorities telling them what to do, so they like, you know, they're responding. All socioeconomic, you know. The more money that someone has, the less they're going to let someone tell them what to do. You know, I mean,
True.
You didn't work that hard, make all that money or whatever, to like do what other people tell you.
We've had 62 deaths in Idaho total, completely.
Oh wow.
That's it. Completely.
Well, Lubbock's a hot spot.
So we've had, I think tonight the governor said that we've had right at 1,900 or something like that positive cases, and something like 1,100 of those have recovered completely. And you know, we've had 64 die, or 62 die, but I mean, we've had very little. Our hospitals are not. We're back to doing, beginning tomorrow, we're back to doing elective procedures and elective surgeries. And, you know, our offices, I'm working on a staggered schedule just so there's not so many of us in the office. And we're masked and the whole nine. I'll tell you what, I've got to hand it to those people that can wear those masks for 8 hours and 10 hours.
Yeah.
It is tough.
I can't even do it for an hour in the grocery.
It makes my face hurts after I take that thing off. I had to go outside the office yesterday at about 3 o'clock because it was just like, I have got to get this mask off. I have to get out in the open air where I can, you know, it's just, and we've been very, very blessed here. But the weather is beautiful right now, and people are just on their bikes. Families are just like walking and sitting. And I think for the most part, with the exception of the weirdos in Walmart, it's like craziness. It's like everybody's like social distancing, and the minute you walk into Walmart, everybody's just like, wow. It's like they're free or something. I don't know what the deal is.
You can't get coronavirus in Walmart, I heard.
Yeah. There you go.
I think I saw it on the news. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We wear our masks and gloves if we have to go in, and yeah, I don't.
Yeah. I went to Sprouts.
I realize that's not going to protect from everything, but there are just crazy people.
Well, the analogy is if a guy walks up to you and he pees himself and he's not wearing pants, you'll probably get more on you than if he was wearing pants. You know, wearing a mask, you're probably going to get less on you. It's pretty basic.
Well, that is one analogy I haven't thought of before. So
it was on Facebook yesterday.
Yeah. If you want to teach a kid to cover their mouth when they cough, then obviously the covering the mouth thing is working. So let's keep on putting our pants on.
Yeah.
Keep your pants on.
There you go. Oh, Nathan, I love you.
On to the next subject. On to the next subject.
On to the next subject, exactly.
Have we been recording this entire conversation so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay, well.
Hey, you should keep Nathan's part in there.
No kidding.
Happy birthday, Grandpa. Keep your pants on.
Grandpa. Don't be on the other residence.
Your grandpa was never the reason for this.
Keep your pants on.
Oh, my goodness.
You just say you're no fun, Nathan. You're no fun.
Oh, no. The minute, I can tell you this right now, if he heard this, he would laugh. The minute he heard that, he would say, oh, I have a story about that. No more pee-pee in the soupy.
I was in the Army one time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
That's a Grandma Wilson story.
Yeah, we're going to try to take Paul Ben and his kids and go down and have a sign outside of Grace and sing happy birthday. If he can come to the door, I'm hoping that they'll hold the door open for him so he can hear. And we'll stand on the sidewalk, and that's the best we can do.
Yeah.
I've now spent like 2 or 3 hours with him trying to get the iPad thing. Teaching from afar is difficult, but when you can't hear
Or see.
you can't see what he's seeing, and he can't, and then he just hitting the home button and pressing it. And bless his heart. So we could, as soon as we get, I have the grandkids and his kids all loaded in, big letters, Nate, Kelly, down like that, so he can FaceTime you if he can ever get to it and touch your name. You know, we're gonna try it. We're gonna pray. But anyway, bless his heart. He's gonna listen to this, and he's gonna know that we have, because bless his heart, we have really tried. He has tried so hard. He really has.
Well,
And when you how many things in his lifetime, how many advances, and how many things that in 93 years of life, I mean, they're doing pretty good.
Even Kleenex.
Yeah, yeah, he's older than Kleenex.
Older than dirt.
Older than dirt. Oh.
And we all know that he lived many years without indoor plumbing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, I was going to say, you want to speak to that, Judy?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Oh, that's pretty good.
yeah.
And he went overseas in the Army at the very tail end of the war.
Where was he stationed?
In Germany.
Oh, okay.
He was actually part of the motor pool that took care of the Nuremberg trials when they had the war criminals on trial.
Mm-hmm.
And he was arranging transportation.
Yeah.
To the Nuremberg trial.
He missed it by 1 day.
Missed what?
1 day of seeing active duty.
When he left the American shores, that we were in war, and when he arrived,
the peace treaty had been signed.
Wow.
He told me that he didn't know it was such a big deal, so he didn't go inside. And then later on, he's like, "Why didn't I go in?"
Yeah.
He didn't know. He didn't know it was a big deal, like a part of history. It's just like he was just working, you know.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Well,
He went over on the ship, and I think it was the USS Washington. But anyway, he went over on the ground level, and the non-commissioned officers, the privates, I'm getting the stories mixed up. But when he came back, he was on the third level where they had the officers.
Wow.
So he
moved up.
rose in the ranks quite rapidly.
Did we lose Bill and
He
Karen?
was
Nope, there's Bill and
deployed.
Karen.
Huh?
I just had to swipe and see Bill and Karen for a second. Thought maybe we lost them.
Oh, okay.
We just keep swiping.
Oh, I just figured this out. I'm so here.
That's okay.
Now I can see Benita and Kelly and Nathan.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
Welcome.
Oh, don't be. You guys look great.
We all do. I sure hope.
Is that a real plant behind you, Benita?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was from my grandma
Lang.
Grandma Lang's plant.
Esther Lang.
I was gonna say.
Oh my.
It's like,
Oh yeah.
It's
I
like
was gonna say
cute.
that this reminded me of your mom and of. Oh my goodness. You got her green thumb then.
It never stops growing.
I cut it all the time.
Huh.
Grows a
That's
lot.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I still have the plant that your dad sent for my mom's funeral.
Oh, good.
5 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would love sometime to know about that conversation when we picked that out. I'll have to fill you in sometime. He was so cute. He wanted something you would be able to keep.
Oh, well, you'll have to tell him I still have it.
He said, flowers come and flowers go, and they're beautiful for a while, and I like giving them. But in something like this, she needs to look at it and say, I got that from Uncle Paul.
And I do.
I was like, oh.
And he had the same idea when he was buying plants for Aunt Marilyn when Uncle Calvin died.
Yes.
He wanted her to have
He
plants.
did, actually.
Yeah, and then she had to move, so she couldn't move them with her, but she loved her flowers.
I loved her flowers too.
Hey, we had to plant flowers where she was at.
That's good though.
So
Poor little Doris, they're really mourning that we can't bring in the flowers that we have done every spring to replant. And so the hanging plant that Jim got last year that was so beautiful, this big hanging plant had beautiful flowers. I don't even have any idea what kind they were yellow, but Dad's out there trying to prune it back and water it and everything, trying to get it to come back because they're afraid they're not going to get a new one this year. So I told him I would call Grace and find out what procedure we can go through to get a new plant in. Certainly there's something that they can do for Mother's Day that we can leave it with the outside and they can come out and pick it up and wipe off.
Yeah.
They bring food in there. Food gets in there, so.
Well, not according to him. They have everything in that building that they've ever needed, and nothing new is coming in. I'm like, okay.
No pizza, huh? Don't order pizza.
No pizza delivery. Nope. I did sneak in their favorite candy bars in his medicine, in his bags of soaps and medicines and everything I sent in yesterday, and some cookies and some things. I made sure all of the toothpaste and all that stuff was on top of it, so if they looked in, all they'd see.
Contraband.
I'm not there.
All of
I
us
felt very,
color.
very sneaky.
That's
You better tell Paula what our favorite candy bars are. So when we get in the old folks' home, you can sneak it in.
Sneak in the candy bars.
Yeah, I sent a message to my sons that I've been quarantined with their father for 6 weeks, and they needed to send chocolate and wine, and they didn't like either from them.
I must be doing okay.
I'm like, okay, so now I know how much you care about me.
Yeah.
You didn't know about my stash of Hershey bars anyway.
Well, Richard made the big leap. He went outside the house and out through into the car and drove 2 hours to pick up the bees. So that was his big, he doesn't leave the house for 6 weeks, and then when he leaves, he goes big time.
That's big time, yeah.
You have a lot of beehives.
Just a little road trip.
Well,
Yes.
We have a few.
Where's the honey?
It's,
Where's the honey?
We're like,
hey,
Where's Grandpa's honey?
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Grampy's honey.
yeah.
Grampy's honey, yep.
Grampy's Lakeside honey.
Yeah.
There we go. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he hangs on to the last few jars until the new harvest comes. He can't eat the last jar till the harvest comes.
Very wise.
Where do you
Yeah,
keep
so-
those, Richard? We want to know where you keep their hidden.
So basically what
My guard dog protects it.
Oh. Garden?
he brought I'll tell you what, the daddy loves the honey from Pueblo.
Ah.
I don't know who that, do you know who those people are, Kelly?
Their last name is Miller. They're like a friend of Kendra's,
Oh, okay.
but it is delicious. I bring that honey to Manila.
My goodness.
He
It's
is the
delicious.
honey, I did have to put honey in his bags yesterday too. Because
How big was the medicine bag?
no, I had two paper grocery sacks, double lined. They were filled to the top and stapled across the top, and big letters, Cox, 185, 185, 185. And she says, "Oh my, what is in this?" And I said, "Well, I haven't brought anything for 6 weeks." So he needed Preservision and his acid reducer. And I just start naming all this stuff. I said, Polident and Fixident and lotion and soap for his sensitive skin. And he said,
Honey?
I said, and I have parts
And
for
chocolate?
his CPAP. I have his, his CPAP machine has parts. And it was true. Every bit of that was in there. Just a few other little fun things.
Honey?
And a little, yeah.
A little.
Well,
That's funny.
the funny thing is the honey that we get here is named Cox's honey.
Oh.
Isn't that sweet?
yeah.
So he has all these bottles now that say Cox's honey. He won't
Well,
throw a
Dad-
bottle away,
Dad did have a few beehives. Went a couple years.
Did he?
Up
Yeah.
at the ranch?
Yeah,
Where did,
out by the, believe it or not, out beyond the outhouse in that field.
That's a good spot.
They were very fertile bees.
I guess so. He gave them away to, he had a guy that was a beekeeper come get him one year. I don't recall getting any honey. I think he got some honey from it once.
Yeah.
But he loved butter and honey is what he used to eat on bread.
Oh, yeah.
What kind?
Favorite.
Just butter.
Honey butter? Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the homemade butter you guys used to make?
Probably.
That was so good.
We had honey butter with hot biscuits at our house with Joel and his family, and the boys were like, "No, I don't really like it." And Joel said, "Well, then you're just broken."
He's a professional.
I was going to say, hey.
There's nothing like honey butter. I just tell you, love it.
Yeah.
I remember Dad used to drink when we had the jelly jars, and then when the jelly was mostly gone, Dad would fill up the jelly jars with milk and shake it up, and that'd be strawberry milk or blueberry milk or raspberry flavored milk, whatever.
Yeah.
You remember doing that, Karen?
Yes. Choke cherry milk.
Yeah.
My dad still does that.
Yeah.
Does he really?
Good to the last drop, you know?
I'm gonna do it now too. Yeah.
I tried to do it for my kids, but it was missing all the sugar, so they didn't like it.
You're no fun.
Where are your kids, Kel?
They are blazing a new bicycle trail across the street from our house, Luke.
Oh, fun.
They have the machete, the grass cutter, and I forgot something else out there. Literally, it's like a jungle that they are.
Oh, you
So
really
Dad
are
supervising?
Cool.
Is their dad?
They want to ride their
supervising?
bikes, and there's nowhere they can go, so, you know.
So they're making their own trail.
Yep.
They are very, very self-sufficient, aren't they?
They're boys, you know, they got to do something with their hands.
Yes. Well, some boys just sit on couches with, well, maybe we shouldn't talk about that, but iPads and, you know, those kinds of.
They have their video
There you
time.
go,
I'm not a perfect mother.
You're pretty close.
Hey, you let him have a machete, so you're doing good.
Is Luke
They're chopping
Surprise,
with a
you know.
machete.
I'm sure she gave him
Learning to be a
machete
man.
lessons.
Okay, they're learning to be a man with a machete.
Let's watch this YouTube video on how to use a machete.
I hope he does better with that than he did with his no brake bikes or too much brake bikes.
Oh, Luke? Yeah.
Is Luke
So Luke got these new clip-in shoe things for his bicycle because he wants to do another triathlon. And he and Scott were out biking one early morning, and he got more worried about Scott than himself because there was a car coming or something, and he forgot to unclip his feet. So he fell over, like, and he broke his elbow.
Oh,
Elbow.
He's fine now. I mean, cast is off now, so. But
left?
well, I am really happy that he cared more about Scott, though. I mean, that really shows, you know.
he's just irritated because he wasn't like biking and he fell over. He was literally like stopping and then forgot to take his feet out. So.
Oh, yeah.
Not really a very epic story.
Elbow. Left or right elbow?
The right.
Okay.
Ooh,
And he's right-handed, so that was fun.
that was not fun.
Well, I'm thinking about a golf swing.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's already making some contraption in the backyard, Uncle Bill, so he can work on his full swing during quarantine. So he can smack the ball and it's gonna go on this tarp thing. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Well, you have to keep your priorities, you know. You have to
Yeah.
keep your priorities.
Our
I
golf
think
course.
I think it's getting darker and darker here. I'm getting darker and darker.
Yeah, you and Judy are both in the dark.
Yeah.
I better go turn on the light.
I would turn on the lights, but then you guys can really see how bad my hair is.
See how dirty my house is.
Oh,
Hey, Paula.
You are,
turn it back
Paula.
off.
there you go.
Turn it
I've
off.
done nothing but clean for 6 weeks, so I don't care about that, but my hair is horrible. And it's okay.
I think you look beautiful.
Well, thank you, Nathan. You've always been my favorite. No,
There you go.
I'm just kidding.
There's the kitty cat.
No, he was just the first one. You know how that goes with the first one.
Yeah.
We won't go into the whole firstborn theory, but anyway. Hey, Vanita, I wanted to hear about how you're doing your lessons. I saw that a little bit on Facebook. That looks so cool. So you're continuing to teach online?
I've only lost a couple students, so I'm doing all the piano and voice on Zoom lessons.
Wow.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so
Great.
I think I still have about 95, 98% of my students, so.
That's really good. So how many how big a load do you carry?
About 60 a week,
Like 60?
yes.
Holy cow. That's
That's 60
amazing.
hours a week.
Half hours. So 30 hours, and then when we had school, we'd be down there,
Yeah.
so.
She played for some of my choral groups.
Yeah.
So he's been home doing school from home, and then
So are you doing choral groups from home?
Actually, we put together a virtual choir. You've seen those. So we're in the post production of it right now. So it'll be up and running hopefully this week.
Oh, wow.
and since my students aren't able to do their recital, I started a Facebook page for Rocky Mountain Music, and so I'm just every once in a while posting kids on there. So they have to do virtual recitals.
Cool.
That is so cool.
Keep them busy.
Yeah. So did you know all this technology before all this started?
I've been teaching a lady in Cabo San Lucas for 2+ years, and then I've got another family that works traveling across the United States that I've been teaching for a couple of years. So I kind of had it under my belt, but not to this extent at all. But
Yeah.
I have had all the, mostly it's on Facebook, but now I'm using Zoom.
Or in the FaceTime.
FaceTime, sorry.
Yeah.
Jay's
Wow.
got a lot of online classes, but he said that this is totally different, what he's having to do now. And, you know, they had to rewrite all their curriculum and everything.
Yeah, it's a whole new world.
Yeah.
For
So
us,
Everett is in 2nd grade, and he has at least one Zoom call a week with his teacher. By the end of the call, I just feel so sorry for her because she has literally said, "Unmute yourself," like 100 times. Mess me up. You know, David, unmute yourself, you know, because they're all on there on one call, and like she's muted all of them, and they have to unmute. It just cracks me up. I think she says that more than anything actually, like,
Anything she actually teaches? Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like a classroom. She's just correcting them more than teaching them. Yeah. Stop it. Stop it.
It's funny. I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny.
Everybody's making do.
Kids.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. We're doing about half telemedicine and half inpatient in-office visits now. We started a week ago with inpatient. So this last week and this week, we've seen some people actually in the office again. So we're just spacing them out and not having any 2 patients in the office at the same time, that kind of thing. With 2 doctors, it's gotten a little creative, but you know, one checks in one door and one checks in the, you know, break room door and that kind of thing. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, we've had such a small exposure rate really here, and everybody, for the most part, we started out really following the rules, but Idahoans are a little independent and feel like the outdoors is their place to be. So people really haven't been shut up in here for weeks. They've not been with other people maybe, but they've been at people out and about the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Just
same here.
Our community hasn't been that tied down. I mean, people are out
Yeah.
hiking or, but
yeah.
like some of the areas, some of the states have really closed down everything. You know, every park or national park. And
Well, yeah, Jim says that Washington has just been like, I mean, they're like seriously, and they're giving tickets and, you know,
Yeah.
we had a lady try to make a
started
big
out
deal out of the
thinking
park
that
here,
was
but
real.
I mean, it was all a news stunt. It wasn't, she just wanted to take her kids to the playground, you know, and felt like her rights were being, because she couldn't play, they couldn't play on the playground stuff, but
Yeah.
it was kind of ridiculous, but.
it's new for everybody.
Yeah, it is. We've been riding our bikes, which has been a new experience. Got my garden ready to plant. Got all my little plants out on the patio ready to go in the ground.
Bill's been planting. We've got tomatoes set on already.
Well, yes, but you don't have the weather we have, Karen Sue. You make me ill every year because you always have such wonderful weather. You get your tomatoes like before we can even get ours in the ground. We just now have no snow on the mountain in the last 2 or 3 days of warm weather. We've got
We can't put any plants out until June 15th.
Yeah.
oh, so see, you're worse than we are. But you had a way worse winter this year than we did. You had a lot more snow,
We
Vanita.
had a lot more snow. Usually this one wasn't terrible.
It was last year that was awful.
Last year we had a few inches.
We got feet.
Oh, wow. This year our winter was really mild. It was really, really mild. The year before it was kind of mild, and then the year of that, and then we had Snowmageddon where we had feet. And we were
You
blocked in.
remember what Dad used to say about Colorado? And he said in Colorado, we have 3 seasons. We have winter, then we have last winter, and then we have getting ready for next winter.
Rick says in between there's construction.
In between there's construction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also mud season.
We have mud season.
Let's see.
Yeah.
It's really lovely.
Yeah.
Does that remind you of John Day when they used to have the thaw? When they used to have like all through Seneca, John Day, between Burns and John Day, and it'd start thawing and the loggers would go out. There was just mud. It seems like mud and more mud and mud. The spring thaw. Yeah.
Mud's not my favorite season.
No, that's not.
I'm a summer girl.
Yeah.
Well, does anybody have a story about Grandpa Cox or Uncle Paul or Dad that you want to tell us as a group?
There you go.
Since I came prepared, I'll start.
Oh,
Does anybody recognize this?
That's not the Royal Gorge, is it?
It's not the Royal Gorge, but you're in the right state.
Yeah.
Silverton?
Considering he was there with her, that's kind of cheating.
It's St. George. And he went there with Aunt Stella once, and he went there with Aunt Jenna once. And this is a postcard that he sent me from the trip he went with Aunt Jenna. And when we were there for the 90th, we took all these people to the Georgetown Railroad. Georgetown.
Oh, Georgetown.
Yes.
It's by
So-
Denver.
Yeah.
Yes. And Dad's postcard says, we enjoyed the museum and the history of Clear Creek and Georgetown even more than the train ride. My first choice would still be the ride to the Royal Gorge or the one out of Alamosa. And Richard and I went to Colorado several trips and tried to ride this train, but they're only open from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Right.
And we kept missing it. But finally, we got to go when we had the 90th, and we got to go with all these Maudlins and Marlows and Brandy Ann and Brandon. And Nathan got sick. He was going to go with Alex, but he got sick and he didn't get to go. But so that was something I thought would be interesting to talk about. So did anybody else go to this train?
We've talked about it a bunch, but we've never made it.
It's really worthwhile. We really enjoyed it. We took a video of the train from below the train. That was really cool. We're glad we got that.
Kelly, didn't you guys do the train when you were in Pueblo last year over to the ranch, over to Glenwood?
Yeah, we took Amtrak over to the ranch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I
one thing
did
I
that
wanna do.
once. I really enjoyed it.
It was very nice.
We did too.
I want to do that. Yes, I've been wanting to do that. Karen and Bill did it.
How did your kids love that, or were they kind of like over it?
They enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be like hour and a half train ride. It's like 5 hours. So I was not quite prepared as I probably should have been for my kids, but we had a good time. Yeah. Scott wants to go back, and because apparently in January they will like drop you off at the ski lift in what town is that?
Vail, Aspen.
No.
Coldest part
It's
of the
Mary Jane.
I don't know. I could Google it.
Probably Dillon would be the Dillon area.
No, it doesn't go through Dillon.
It goes right, like the train goes right by the ski,
Right there.
like literally like the stop and the where you get onto the lift are like right there.
It's Mary Jane, so it's close to Georgetown, kind of.
Anyways, we saw like 4 bald eagles and all sorts of deer and antelope, maybe not deer, antelope, and something else. But it was
I
pretty
wonder if you could get from the airport to the train station without having a car there.
in Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I'm wondering
You can take
maybe Nate and Alex were going to come in July if we can all come. If we all get to come, they'll come.
If there's not apocalypse and stuff.
No zombies on the train.
COVID round
Maybe
two.
or maybe zombies. Now they just are sick too.
I'll have to look into that. Maybe go from the airport to the train station.
It's fun. And the train station itself is beautiful. Union Station. I think it's Union
I
Station.
love train stations and trains. Anything.
We've
to
got
do
the
trains.
metro you could take.
One in Glenwood.
And it takes you through parts of Colorado by Burns that doesn't have a
Road.
road to it. So you would never see it unless you rode the train.
Rode the train. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Fabulous. There's
Fraser, Colorado.
That's it.
I had to look it up.
I think it's Fraser, Colorado.
Yeah, it's
Now,
Mary
do
Jane
I
and
know
Fraser.
anything more than what I did? No. But we got a name. It's good. I may
So,
know.
my funny, well, not funny story about Grandpa, but like, so we all know he likes his beef. And I didn't grow up with eating a whole lot of beef. So when we came back to the States and we were eating all of this with Grandpa, always wanted my A1 sauce to go with it because I'm a sauce girl. And he would always tell me, you need to try it first. You need to try it first without the sauce. You just need to eat it. And so pretty much every time I would eat one bite and then I'd be like, okay, and I'm gonna have my sauce now because it doesn't taste as good. So
You're talking about when you came back from Korea, right?
yeah, sorry, when I was a
Okay.
kid.
Yeah.
Which to this day I still pretty much have one bite with no A1 sauce, and then I will put the sauce on my plate and keep eating my steak with my sauce. But I still give, and what's funny is I make my own kids don't want to eat beef because we don't eat, that's not really available here either. So I still make them have one bite of my steak or whatever, and then they can eat something else. So but just funny, he was really particular about always,
Yeah.
having his meat taste just like meat and don't mess
Yeah. He said,
Yeah.
no use ruining a good steak.
Yep. So I had this picture. I don't know how to do that thing that you guys were doing, but here. Is it backwards?
Oh, yeah.
There's no such thing as a chicken knife.
That's awesome.
I heard today on the news that chicken germs stay alive on chicken a whole lot more than they do on beef, and you can even have it cooked in the center and the outside can be contaminated. So
Bacon.
If you don't have a lot of beef, what is your main food, main meat?
Chicken
Kelly?
or pork?
Chicken or pork?
I've got a story about Uncle Paul. We're in Lyman. We're sitting around in Doris's house, after they got married. And we were all sitting around. She fixed a lot of food for us and all that. And Richard and Donna were there, I remember.
mhm.
And we were just had the blessing and everything and started passing the food around. And Uncle Paul gets up and goes in the kitchen because he needs to feed the cat.
Oh my, I know this.
And so we're saying, "What are you doing, Uncle Paul?" When he comes back, he said, "Well, I had to fix some food for the cat."
Oh,
You had to do it.
No,
You had to do
it was the one before Duke. It wasn't
this is
Duke.
better.
Was that JoJo?
Better.
Could be. Anyway, the whole story is he went out there and fixed elk
Yeah,
for the
right.
cat.
Yep.
He had something like spaghetti.
Yep, he did.
And,
Yes.
and he's got a freezer
And
of
these
elk.
three girls had a fit.
Were you there, Paula? Were you there too? Okay.
Yep, I remember
He
this.
had a whole freezer on the front porch of elk, and we're eating spaghetti or something. I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong, but we all loved
Yeah.
it. Also,
We could have loved an elk steak. Yeah, right.
yeah, we.
Well,
were-
I think, wasn't that the trip that he sent us all to Alco and we bought coolers and we each filled up a cooler and took it home with us?
Yes, yes. We
I
bragged on
think
him.
after so much grief over feeding the cat the elk, he felt he
Guilty.
got
Yes.
bad.
We took ours on the plane.
Mhm.
We took ours as a carry-on, a cooler full of frozen elk on the plane.
But Doris
Don't
didn't
tell
cook.
him when we got there what he did.
Doris didn't care for elk though.
Yeah.
She didn't, yeah. And she wouldn't even cook it.
No, she didn't. Yeah.
Well, we went there for a meal. We came there and we visited with him. The first night there, we had a meal. and we were expecting elk because the year before we got some elk. And so after the meal was over, we were all doing our things, and about 9 or 10, he goes back in there and puts this real nice elk steak in this pan with some butter, and he's cooking it up. And I'm watching him there, and I'm sitting at the table in the kitchen there, saying, wow, he's gonna serve up a good piece of meat here, you know? And next thing I know, he's cutting it, and he's putting it in the dish for the cat.
Yep.
And then I said, that's good meat. He goes, yeah, you know what that does for their fur? It makes their fur real. He gives me this total, and I'm sitting there going, this is the guy that questioned me having dogs in my house. You know.
Yeah, we did not have pets in the house growing up.
Oh, never.
No, we did not have pets inside.
Donna,
We didn't
we
either.
did not have pets.
Period.
Inside, outside, on the roof, in the garage, we did not have.
That's right.
You guys did not have any, did you?
I mean, let's be honest about that. We
Yeah.
brought home the one dog. I think it was in Newcastle. I still remember I was so excited. And then they determined what the dog had gotten out and killed some chickens or something, and they had to go
Yeah,
put the dog down.
that
Does
was
anybody else remember
Princess.
that? Huh?
That was Bruce. Bruce Foster had a registered collie
Oh, it was
named
a beautiful
Duchess.
dog.
Named Duchess, and Duchess had Princess, and we got
That's right.
Princess.
That's right. I remember.
Princess went up over the hill and killed the chickens on the other side of the hill, and the owners of those
That's our
chickens
pet.
tracked us down, and they
By doggy.
Yep,
They-
that was the one. That was the one chance that we had at a pet. That was it. That was done.
Those are
I
weird
was
people.
probably Alex's age. I was probably about Alex's age when that happened.
I was
Hey, little
13
girl,
when we.
my dog killed my chickens. I'm gonna kill your dog now. What
Yeah.
a psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What is wrong with those people?
I remember that. Totally.
Oh,
Oh, it's crazy.
Well, once they get a taste of that, they don't care for dog food anymore. You know.
They get elk, so it doesn't matter.
You know, I still love elk.
Yeah, Bill.
Yeah,
Bill's
elk
back
burger,
to elk.
yeah, he's still
elk
on the
burger,
elk.
elk burger with bacon on it. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh man, I've got elk burger in my fridge, in my freezer. You need to come up here and I'll make you elk burger.
mhm.
Do that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're picking
Some
up.
elk
We're picking
chili?
up yeah.
Some elk chili
Yeah.
would be good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No more elk steaks. Those go pretty fast.
Well,
and
we got all our
options,
points.
but we got elk burger left.
Yeah. When we canceled our flight, we got all our points back, so we can come another time.
Okay.
And maybe
We did too. We got our points back too.
They were supposed to be coming this next week before all this
we were supposed
craziness.
to be there right this week. We were supposed
Yeah,
to
we were going to be
Oh,
there.
yeah. You were
We were
going
going
to
to be
fly.
there for Dad's birthday weekend.
Yeah.
we were coming.
And then your
That's right.
anniversary.
And then over our anniversary. Yeah.
And you were going to go to Washington or Oregon?
We wanted to go meet up with Jim over at Bend somewhere. We had it all figured out how all of us couples were going to go to the coast next weekend for our anniversary. It just, everything, I'll tell you what, COVID-19 kind of did us in.
Yeah.
It trumped everything.
Yep,
Yeah.
there you go.
But are you,
Even Martin?
Pun intended.
I didn't mean it, but yeah, that's true.
Oh, you just got to change spots?
Now we need to all plan Hawaii 2021.
Kelly's
Kelly?
Kelly's in the center of that plan.
Yeah.
10-14.
She's quiet. She's not
Great.
planning.
You think Bill's ready to go to bed?
Did you guys see what Bill posted on the picture for his memory?
Yeah.
No, he has to do it again.
Bob, we don't have
Bill.
to get up in the morning.
You have permission, Uncle Bill, to go to bed.
Thank you.
We love you, Bill. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Nate.
Good night.
He wins. He's the winner.
Good night, John Boy.
Whoever leaves first is the winner.
Well, the
He's the
Texas
coolest
people
one.
are in a little bit later time zone than we are.
He's just cooler than all of us. That's why he left first. He's the winner.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, did anybody else think of a story to share with us?
Oh, geez.
I don't have a funny story, but I have an appreciation for your dad because he always, when he calls, he always just really genuinely wants to know how everybody's doing. And he wants to know he always makes sure that everybody knows how much he loves us. You know,
Yes.
he genuinely cares for everybody.
Yes.
He's got a sweetheart, and I just appreciate that.
He truly
Yes.
does. And he talks about you and talks about Judy and Ellen and wants to make sure that you guys all know that you're loved. And even though your parents are not with you anymore, he remembers and he thinks of you and he misses Sam, and he does.
He wants to check up on all our kids and grandkids. And it's just pretty special.
The first birthday card he got this year was from Barbara Bogner.
Yeah, she's really good at sending cards, and I'm not.
He called me up and he
Good at
said,
buying cards. I buy cards and then I put them away and I forget to send them.
yeah.
Related.
I do that too, Vanita.
The good thing about that, Vanita, is that he will love to get it no matter what month of the year it is.
Whenever it comes.
Find it, you just write a note and say, Uncle Paul, I just found this, and he's gonna put it up. He loves looking, and he looks at those cards. He's got cards and things that Kelly and the kids have sent from years, and he'll look at that and say, look at that little boy, and I'm like, well, that's Scotty. I think you have a newer picture of him than that, don't you? Oh, I know, but I want to keep this one right here.
Aunt Marilyn was like that too, where we get something from somebody, and her house was plastered with cards and pictures.
So was her other place. She kept getting in trouble for plastering the walls.
I put up, I don't know how many thousands of pictures on Mom's wall. And I was just thinking, I found today when I was doing some cleaning, I found a box of cards that Mom, it's plastic box. She bought cards, put them in there, and some of them she'd written who she'd bought them for.
Oh.
But never got them sent. So,
oh, you have to send them to those people.
yeah, I'm gonna go through and look at it and see what I can figure out and get.
That's so great.
Yeah, that's sweet.
But yeah,
that is so
so
great.
I come by it naturally. I have cards all over the place, and I get them bought, but I don't get them sent.
Amen, sister.
Well, my granddaughters in this COVID-19, my granddaughters have been writing letters back and forth, and you should hear them talk. It's like they've discovered a whole brand new thing.
Yeah.
Did you know you can put it in the envelope and send it? I'm just like, Anna wanted me, send me stamps, Granny. There's just envelopes and stamps and all these fun things that you can just draw and make. And I'm like, okay, everything comes back around. Because all they've ever known is Instagram and texting and all this technology. So now they're like drawing each other pictures and putting up pictures on their walls that the other one's sending. And it's just like a whole new world, you know.
Anna showed me her diary. Anna has a COVID diary, and she's been making a diary about the coronavirus days and what they're doing, and she's been drawing pictures in her diary.
I started that with the two girls and me. I have my diary and they have their diaries, and I said, because this is a time in history you may never, this has never happened before. Right. I said, you'll be able to tell your kids about it when you get. a
Hey, will
lot
you
over.
send me a copy of yours so I don't have to write one?
Sure.
It's a family thing. It's everyone.
Be
Everyone.
related.
You're nominated, Paula.
There you go.
They're the representative.
It seems like to me now, reading back over the very first couple weeks, is like all I did was talk about the food I was cooking. Like, people are going to think all we did was eat. It's like,
It's true.
Oh, you know what? I've got these friends that I text with, and we're all over the country, and we, you know, we're always telling each other what we're cooking for dinner tonight, and that's kind of an unusual thing because we don't usually cook.
well,
Yeah,
yeah,
we're having restaurant withdrawals.
well, I like to cook, and I've cooked
Serious.
before, but it wasn't like I was making all these meals that I've got my freezer stuffed full of food now. It's like, it was, I don't know, when you have time and you just can look through I even got on Pinterest. Don't be excited, Kelly. I know, Kelly's been trying to get me to, but it's
Just
just,
made the best Italian roasted vegetables that I found a recipe on Pinterest. I could send it to you. They're delicious.
okay, you do that because we're all about the vegetables. We are going to keep off those carbs.
I don't know. Those chicken pot pies were pretty good, Paula.
They looked so good.
They were really good.
That looked delicious, I have to tell you. I was sitting there, Mike, and that's one of Mike's favorite things too. He was looking at that and he was going, let's see. And I got a chicken breast and salad. This is not exactly the same.
That's why you have to work out really hard so you can just eat like a pig, whatever you want. It's the secret to life. I'm telling you. Work out as hard as you can all the time, and you just gorge yourself whenever you want. You just eat, eat, eat. I eat all the time, every day, all the time.
Yeah, you don't have 64-year-old food.
Hey, you just have to work out harder.
Yeah, you hit an age, you'll find out that's not true.
You don't know the people I know then.
I keep trying. I keep
I'm a
keep
70-year-old guy. I seen a 70-year-old guy 50 pull-ups.
Yeah.
70-year-old man, 50 pull-ups, wow. 25 at a time. 50 years old. And he just looked at you young bucks don't know anything. And I was just all.
I'm almost 75.
Show us your pull-ups, your push-ups.
It's never too late.
Wait. I nominate Nathan to do all of our exercising for us.
Okay.
As long as that Paul will do all of the journaling, okay.
Okay, I'll journal. Let's see, we're going to nominate you to provide all the background music for the journaling that we're going to be reading.
There we go. Subdivide the labor.
She has to do the background video, and Kelly has to do the creative design.
We have to have a theme song and a logo.
That's right.
A theme song and a logo. Hey, Kelly can come up with that. She's good at marketing. Theme song.
I got the logo.
You got the logo? Yeah. That's pretty good. Speaking of exercising, let's go back to Dad for a moment. That man, seriously, every single day goes out on that bar and does his little exercises.
Wow.
That's right.
It is the cutest thing. I videotaped him
cool.
doing them now because I thought, I want to remember this. I videotaped him, and he didn't know I was videotaping him. And then when I turned around and he goes, hey now, what are you doing there? A guy's got to have his time. So, yeah, I'll share that video sometime.
Okay. Yeah.
I videotaped him too, but I videotaped him so I could remember what the exercises were.
He did physical therapy when he had a couple of falls and they made him do physical therapy. So now even it's a year and a half later and he still has remembered those videos, and he does it very religiously, very
He's a good example for us all. He's got to walk, you know. He's going to walk every day. He's going to get his exercise in.
That's good, because if you stop, you don't pick it up again.
That's right.
Well, yeah, if you don't use it, you lose it. And I keep telling him, I said, Dad, he keeps trying to force and that's just not working.
It's a kitty bugs.
Oh, hi.
Hi, just say hi. Okay. They're all there. They just want to see you. This is Everett.
Hi, Everett.
I missed Everett.
Did you cut your hand off with your machete?
They want to know, did you cut your hands off? Nope, we still have hands.
Oh, good. The machete didn't cut your hand off.
We'll try to send a video of the biking. Come say hi. Why not? You know all these people. Okay,
We just
Virginia's
saw
just
you
gonna stare at you from the floor, so you can keep talking.
Okay. That's all right.
That's
She's
hilarious.
allowed.
Not in the
Well,
shower, apparently.
If anybody here has a clock, we won't keep you too long. Any other stories about Dad's birthday before we sayonara?
Well, I second Benita. I do appreciate his calls, and
Yes.
I don't call him, but he calls me, and he doesn't talk very long, which is good, because sometimes he calls me at work, but he's always wanting to know how I'm doing, and he says, it's been a while since we talked. I gotta see how you're doing. I will probably try to call him Saturday, because probably everybody's gonna try to call him tomorrow. But I do appreciate those calls.
Yeah, if everybody could not call 1:30 to 3, that would be very appreciative.
Okay, that's when you're gonna try to be there.
No, that's when they play bingo, and he keeps taking calls
Oh,
during
you
bingo.
cannot interrupt bingo. I found
He
that
takes
out.
the call. He stops the whole thing and takes the call, and they all have to wait on him.
Oh, that's funny.
Where literally Grace, the gal from Grace called me and said, "Can you do anything about this? We're getting so many complaints." Because he has so many people calling him.
That's so funny.
And so I said, well,
with all the-
who was it that called last time? And he said, well, I think it was Alan. And I said, well,
Well,
Dad,
and with the time change.
yeah, I realized that I just told him, I said, Daddy, either leave your phone in the room or turn it on silent or get up and go away from the game.
He's going to be banished from bingo.
But he's going to be
Well,
banished.
they almost banished
You know
him
what?
one
You know what,
time
the sweet
because
lady?
he's winning too much.
Well, yeah, and he does win all the time. He really
Oh, he
does.
does.
And that's why they complain about him.
That's
Well,
true.
and they say all the
Story comes
time
now.
that they all try to get real snippy about the cards and everything, and he doesn't care one bit. He just sits down, and whatever cards he gets. And they've all said that the reason he wins so much is because he just trusts God and he doesn't really care. God just helps him win. I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't think
And
God
when we
cares about bingo.
When we go and we are there for a week, we'll play bingo with him with his money. So each game you have to put in a dime. So he'll give us the money we need, give us our 10 dimes, our 11 dimes, and so
It's 10, but yeah.
well, there's the ending hand, you have to have 2 dimes. The last hand, you have 2 dimes or something. But anyway, then the people really get mad when we win. And we say, we can't help it. It's his dimes. We can't help it.
Well, the funniest story is that when the great grandkids go and they all want to play bingo with him, and so they now when Josh's kids are in town and the older ones will go and they'll play bingo, and he gives them dimes. If they win, they want to keep it, and that man will not let them keep it.
That's right.
He's like, but you bring your own dimes and you can keep what you win.
That's so funny.
Isn't that hilarious? He's so cute. So now we've had to actually bring in some wrappers because we had to wrap up the rolls of dimes because they had so many dimes.
We won so many.
Yeah, no, seriously, honestly.
Yeah.
And he'll even say, I'll leave him, like I would go over at lunch every day and I'd say, okay, well, you go on to bingo and I'm going back to work. And I said, you win today. And he goes, oh no, I hope I don't. Oh no, I don't want to win today. I won yesterday.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's a good.
So he's so cute. I'm thankful that Doris got back to Grace
Yeah.
and got back together before this started. God has really blessed in that so much. It would have been a totally different scenario. And so I'm very, very thankful for that. I'm very, very thankful for the fact that every single day he calls and tells me how they slept and how, what they had for breakfast and if Doris was having a good day or not good day. And, he knows that we all pray for him. And so it's just really a great thing that he can have a phone. I mean, you remember back in the days, we've been in foreign countries and not heard from them for months and months and months on end. How wonderful it is that he can call every single one of us. How wonderful it is that we can call him. And I was going to say when Vanita and Judy were talking about him calling, I don't know whether you realize this, but he has a 3x5 card for everybody. And on the 3x5 card has like your kids' names and their wives' names. And then he tries to get me to write down the grandkids' names. I'm like, oh, Dad, I got to get a hold of Anita to get all that information. I don't know their names and
They
ages.
keep multiplying.
Because yes, I said they keep having more babies and more babies. Yeah. But he does keep up with those cards. And he will look at it every now and then and he'll, so he really does love you all. Yeah. He talks about
special to us.
Yeah. He'll say, do you have any new pictures? So I do want to let you know that I did download onto the iPad the pictures that I have a picture of him with you and Danny, Benita, at the motel that we took at the motel in last August. And when I sent in the iPad, I found out that I can AirDrop from my phone to his thing. So he does have like pictures of Alex and pictures of anything that I had on my phone that I thought he would enjoy.
Donna, you may want to send those pictures to Paula that I emailed you.
I sent you some pictures today about.
I didn't.
It was about an hour.
We didn't.
About an hour before this started.
Yeah, we didn't know what your thought. You said something about pictures. We didn't know what your plan was with them, so we just emailed them to you.
Oh, how cool is that?
Well, if you'll send him to me, I'll AirDrop him to his iPad.
Okay.
Yes.
Because he has discovered how to go to the little flower photo icon thing and touch it, and then he swipes and looks at the pictures. So.
Yes.
I'm in the middle of digitizing.
You guys need to know this. Yeah.
Tons and tons of photos from Stella.
All mom's photos.
Yeah. So.
Oh, thank you.
As we get those on the cloud, I'll start sharing with everybody.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that'd be really great.
Just a few. Don't forget this generation, okay? Don't just leave it up there with these people.
Well, I'll do a Dropbox. I'll do a Dropbox share, and everybody has it. So.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh, those are good pictures, Vanita. Those two pictures are really cool.
Yeah, I think there was 3.
Awesome.
I sent 2.
Or you sent 2? I sent 3.
Now, didn't I had asked Vanita if Dad was participating with Brother Gosnell on their wedding, and you could tell that story.
Yeah, I had Richard Gosnell, and then because I was saved under his ministry, and then Uncle Paul, and then another pastor that was really close to us was Irvin Cure. So I had 3 ministers at our wedding. So I hope it I hope it's good.
So we got
Yeah.
triple married her.
We wanted to make sure it stuck.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty impressive I had 2. You talked me up with 3. That's,
I have to do you one at least, Paula.
yeah, there you go. I'm all for it. That's good. Hey, we've hung in 44 years, so
We're
I
hitting
can't.
40
This
this
is our
year.
40th this summer.
You're 40. I was trying to remember how much further back. You know, I thought it was 3 years, so it was 4 years. Yeah, that's awesome. I can't believe it. It's like,
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
but then I look at my kids and I think, well, it better be 40 some years.
Yeah.
I know. That's
I
what
look at
I was
Nathan and
like.
Josh and all these men.
They're men, yeah.
How did you get so old, Nathan?
How old are you, Nathan?
Are you 44, Nathan? 45?
46.
46.
Rick's 48.
Rick's 40. Oh gosh. So if you're 46, Josh just turned 43.
Donna, you're only 50, so you were a child when you had it.
I know. It was a
Immaculate
miraculous.
conception.
That makes you near perfect, right, Nathan?
No.
Yeah.
Can't all be gyms, you know.
That's fine.
Well, we have that blessing in our family of having long marriages and long lives. That's something we can be very, very excited about passing on to the next generation.
This is true.
Stable family. We have a very stable family.
Yeah.
And Dad was the first one saved.
Yeah.
When he
Our
got saved, then I
75.
think Aunt Stella was the next one, wasn't she?
Yes.
And Uncle Calvin was the next after that.
Mhm.
So it's not like we have, unchurched family before that, but we just had Granddad was the point where it became a biblical faith. But great grandma Martha Cox, I think she must have been a very devout Christian.
She was a Presbyterian.
From the things I've read about that she said, what little we know about her. Dad and I are trying to tell each other some stories that I'm going to try to make into a children's book, and for Alex, and then Nathan is going to do the illustrations. So when on Nathan's birthday, Dad and I were talking, and he came up with that idea. And then, maybe some of the other kids will get interested in it too. But
Yeah, the more merrier.
yeah,
Definitely share it.
yeah. But you have to have a target audience. So we thought, well, we'll tell the story to Alex and then see what happens. So we've got about 5 or 6 stories now. So it's just like about 1.5 pages of typing. But if you ever get a chance, have him tell you the story about Grandma Dorothy and how she became afraid of chickens. And
That's a great.
she lived on the farm and she never got over her fear of chickens. But
I gotta go, you guys. I gotta feed my seed. So I love all of you. Thank you for sharing your Zoom.
Love you
minutes.
too, bud. Nice
Nathan.
to meet you.
Good to see you.
Bye.
We gotta come
Bye. Happy birthday, Grandpa.
Happy birthday, Grandpa.
Love
happy
you.
birthday. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Love
Thank you for
everybody.
including us.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Let's do it again when we can just talk too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All righty.
we need to do that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 There they go. Bye and bye.
Bye-bye.
How do I cut off of this?
Bye, Virginia.
Bye, Virginia. Bye,
Bye,
Everett.
Everett.
Bye, bye.
Miss you guys. Okay. Bye. Oh, did you stop recording, Richard?